Hello my friends, it's Laura. Welcome to a good old-fashioned book haul. So I have a stack of books here. This is the other half of the books that I bought in the month of March, and then the 5 or so books that I bought or received so far in April. I am not planning to buy any more books for a while, so hopefully I won't. A couple of these you may have already seen because I might have featured them in vlogs, but I'm going to feature them again in this video. So sorry for any repeats you may see. But let's go ahead and get into it. The most, or at least one of the most recent books I picked up, this is The Bone Shard War by Andrew Stewart. This is the third and final book in the Drowning Empire trilogy. The first book being The Bone Shard Daughter. I absolutely adore this series. This just came out this past Tuesday from when I'm filming this, and I'm about to start reading it today, which I'm very excited about. If you don't know, this takes place in this empire that is this collection of islands. Magic in here involves the emperor removing bone shards from his citizens and using it to power these animal-like constructs that he uses to do his bidding. And in the first book, we're following Lynn, who is the daughter of the emperor, who is trying to learn this magic, but also kind of get her memories back. We're also following a smuggler who turns into an unlikely hero named Jovis, and seeing him meet his animal companion, Mephi, who is the most adorable thing in the world. Absolutely adore this series, and I cannot wait to see how it wraps up. I'm so excited. I love the purple of this. Oh, it's so pretty. So, some more new releases I recently picked up. One you will have already seen in my latest vlog is Lone Women by Victor LaValle. This came out in March. I picked it up, I read it, I loved it. This was 5 stars for me, but in this we were following a woman named Adelaide Henry who is running from her past with nothing but this large steamer trunk that has to remain locked at all times because when it's opened, people start to disappear. This was such a fun book. I loved these characters so much. I loved this world. I loved how eerie and creepy it was. I had a blast with this. So of course I had to pick up the latest Victor LaValle. I love Victor LaValle. And then the other one, I think this came out the same day, is House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This is another new horror from T. Kingfisher. I honestly don't know too much about it because I haven't read the synopsis and I don't want to, but I'm pretty sure we're dealing with some kind of haunted house situation. I don't know anything beyond that. I don't want to know anything beyond that. All I know is that I absolutely love T. Kingfisher. I love her writing. Really enjoyed the other 2 books that I read from her. The, what was it? Nettle and Bone and What Moves the Dead. Absolutely adored those books. So I'm very excited for a new T. Kingfisher, and I'm sure I will tell you all about what it's about when I finally read it. But this is the cover, which I really, really love. And it's a pretty short one too. So I should be getting to this pretty soon. And yet another newer release. We have The Lake House by Sarah Beth Durst. This was one of my most anticipated reads of 2023. I don't know if I knew this, maybe I did and then forgot, but this is a YA title, and for some reason I had in my mind that it was adult horror. I don't know why, because even with the premise of it, it's obvious that it's not, that it would be a YA, because it's about a girl named Claire who ends up going to this off-the-grid summer camp that her parents sent her to, only to find a blackened, burned husk where a lodge should be and no survivors. Claire and the other 2 late arrivals, Reva and Mariana, are the only ones left with no cell phone service, no electricity, no shelter, and no way back to civilization. And then something is hunting them. It sounds so good. I don't know why I had it in my head that it was adult and not YA, but I am still very, very excited to read it. I feel like I didn't know that this was coming out in April. Like, I mean, I don't have the best memory. For some reason, I thought this was coming out in the summertime. So I was very happy and excited to see it at the bookstore. This is the cover. Okay, and then I think this is the last of like the newer releases. We have One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake, which is the new Olivia Blake that came out this month. Another originally self-published title that got picked up by Tor. This one, I believe, is about witches in New York, if I'm not mistaken. In modern day Manhattan, where we lay our scene, 2 rival witch families fight to maintain control of their respective criminal empires. That's what it is. Witch criminal bosses. That's what this is. Very excited to give this one a read. I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which is this beautiful black color instead of the white. It has beautiful end pages. There's the front and there's the back. And I think this has like a bonus short story in the back. Oh no, it's not a bonus short story. It's a sneak peek for her new book, Masters of Death, which is coming out this summer, which I did not know about. I think that's another, once again, self-published title that Tor has picked up. Okay, so last month, I believe it was, I read Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth, and in that book is kind of centered around this biography of a woman named Mary MacLane, who is someone that I had never heard of before picking up Plain Bad Heroines, and then suddenly got super intrigued by this woman and everything she wrote. So I picked up all her books. The first one, and this is the one that is kind of centered in Plain Bad Heroines, is I Await the Devil's Coming. We do get like snippets and quotes in Plain Bad Heroines from this, which I really loved, and I'm very excited to actually give this a full read now. But she wrote her first book back in 1901, and she was hailed as a marvel. She went on to become a pioneering newswoman, gambler extraordinaire, and a star of the silent screen, and inspired F. Scott Fitzgerald. Interesting. Upon her death in 1929, she was eulogized as an errant daughter of literature, the first of the self-expressionists, and also the first of the flappers. She just seems like a very interesting person, and I don't know why I never heard of her before now, but I'm very excited to read this one especially. I'm probably gonna start here with I Await the Devil. And then I think this was her second book, My Friend Annabelle Lee. I honestly have no idea what this one is about. I could not tell you. I think it is fiction as opposed to biographical, but excited to give it a read as well. And then the last one I have is I Mary MacLane, which was her second biography. So excited to read this one as well. They are all quite short, and I think I'm going to save all of these reads for June when I attempt to do my 30 books in 30 days. So excited to have these. Hopefully I enjoy them. From my local used bookstore, Bright Light Books, I picked up A Taste of Golden Iron by Alexandra Rowland, another one that you will have seen if you saw my latest vlog. I did read it in there, really enjoyed it. This is a fantasy romance following a prince and his bodyguard, and it's so sweet. It is so slow burn. And I had a great time with it actually. But this, I got this special bookish box edition from my used bookstore, and it's such a pretty book. Look at the cover, the spine, the sprayed edges. Oh my god, those edges are so beautiful. It also came with this little art print here, as well as this art print. Look at them. How beautiful. Beautiful end pages, and it is signed. So I was very happy to find this, and I'm so glad that I loved it, because I don't know how else I would have justified spending as much as I did on it if I didn't love the book. I honestly just bought it because it was so beautiful, and I do not regret my decision now. Also used, I found The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. I was so happy to find this. I have become obsessed with T. Kingfisher as an author, and I want to read every single one of her books. So I was very happy to see this one. This is another horror, and I do not know what it's about. Kara is helping out her ailing, eclectic Uncle Earl at his house, which doubles as a tourist hotspot, the Glory to God Museum of Natural Wonders, Curiosities, and Taxidermy. Oh. While Kara is closing up one night, she discovers a mysterious hole in the drywall along one of the museum's overstuffed hallways of oddities, an opening that impossibly leads Kara and her new friend Simon to a sprawling area that simply can't be part of North Carolina's plane of existence. Exciting! Like a portal fantasy horror. That sounds fun. Honestly, I've heard people talk about The Hollow Places before, and I don't remember that being a thing. But that's fun. So anyway, I got this one. I'm excited to give it a read. What I should do is dedicate an entire month to reading authors like T. Kingfisher and Jacqueline Woodson and Olivia Blake, all of the authors that I keep saying I need to read all of their backlist. Just dedicate an entire month to reading nothing but that. Will I do that? I don't know. Also used The Obsession by Jessie Q. Sutanto. Jessie Q. Sutanto, if you don't know, wrote Dial A for Aunties, which is just the most hilarious book. and also one of my favorites. I want to, again, read everything from her, and this is a YA thriller, I believe, about a stalker. It says boy meets girl, boy stalks girl, girl gets revenge. And I think that pretty much sums up the story enough for me. I really haven't heard anyone talking about this. Please let me know if you've read this in the comments and what you thought of it. I haven't tried any YA from her yet, so I don't know what her differences are in writing style when it comes to YA, or if this will have like the same humor as her other stuff. I don't know. And then I also found Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I actually found the paperback first and I picked that up, and I was on my way to the register, and then I saw the hardcover and I was like, well, might as well just get the hardcover. I don't think I've ever read anything from Rachel Harrison, but I remember when this came out, it just looked super intriguing to me. It's technically a horror novel, but I think it's supposed to be really funny. So it says a darkly funny, frightening novel about a young woman meeting a witch who might be too good to be true. I've just heard that this is a lot of fun, and so I'm really excited to give it a read. Hopefully I enjoy it. I've been really leaning into that just like cozy. I never considered the concept before of like cozy horror or cozy thrillers, but they are out there, and I think this could potentially be something like that. So I'm excited to give this one a read. I don't know if I'm gonna save it for like spooky season or not, but I'm very excited to have a copy now. And then the last, the last book that I picked up at the used bookstore was White Horse by Erica T. Worth. I actually got the Book of the Month edition, and the funny thing is I don't like the Book of the Month editions. Like, the only reason I feel like Book of the Month, because I've heard so much about it by this point, is such a good service. Like, it makes a lot of sense. It's a good price and everything, but I haven't ever subscribed to them because I hate the Book of the Month symbol in the corner of the book. I just hate it. I feel like it disrupts the covers so much. And it also has the little Book of the Month symbol on the hardcover. November of 2022, that's when it was offered, which is fine. I never thought I'd get a Book of the Month copy because I hate that, but I couldn't turn down the price at the used bookstore, so I went ahead and picked it up. This is a horror novel. It's one that I have been very intrigued about and have heard interesting things about. It says some people are haunted in more ways than one. This is kind of one that I don't want to know too much before I go into it, so I'm not going to read the synopsis, but I do know that it is written by an Indigenous author, so I'm excited for that. But other than that, I don't want to know what's going on. Okay, 4 more books, and they're all kind of special editions. I've got my March adult fairy loot book, which is The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten. I have to admit that this is really not one that I was interested in before getting it in my fairy loot, but because I have it, I will obviously be giving it a read. It's just, I think it's fantasy romance, and I don't know. I know Hannah Whitten wrote For the Wolf, that duology. I've heard people say good things about it, but I particularly haven't been interested in it. I don't know why, and I'm not interested in this one either. Lore has made a living running poisons for the city's underbelly, but when a run goes wrong, she's captured by the king and expects to be sent to the pyre, but the king has different plans. Lore is thrust into the sainted king's glittering court, where no one can be believed and even fewer can be trusted, guarded by Gabriel, a duke-turned-monk, and continually running up against Bastian, the king's ne'er-do-well heir. Lore tangles in politics, religion, and forbidden romance as she attempts to navigate the debauched and opulent society. Definitely fantasy romance. I'll give it a read. We'll see how it goes. I could be pleasantly surprised, but I'm not particularly excited for this one, unfortunately. But the book itself is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that cover. Look at those edges. Those are stunning. End pages, also beautiful. The back, and then the naked hardcover is really sexy. Look at that shine. Look at that foil. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. That's the front, that's the back, that's the spine. Absolutely gorgeous. And it also has a reversible dust jacket, so you can turn it around this way and have this face on the cover. I don't particularly like faces on covers, so I won't be doing that. I will eventually one day give it a read. And then I got the Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake, another Olivia Blake book, which I am very excited to read. I really do need to set aside a month just for Olivia Blake and T. Kingfisher and everyone. But this is gorgeous, and I love that they really leaned into the whole bee imagery here. I love the black and the gold with the bees and the honey and the look at those edges. The end pages and the naked hardcover. It's so beautiful. So I knew when I saw they were doing this, I had to buy a copy. I really do think I'm gonna love it, and I wanted to have a pretty fancy edition. So I got it. This, I believe, is a love story. Two people meet in the Art Institute by chance. I'm not gonna read the synopsis. What am I doing? I don't want to read the synopsis. I don't want to know anything, but I'm pretty sure that it's a love story between two people with a lot of trauma. That's all I know. Very excited for this one. Last two, and they are both Sanderson titles. I already showed this off in my last vlog, but I did finally receive, my copy, my physical copy of Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. And it is even more stunning than I thought it would be. It's beautiful, it feels beautiful. It's got some beautiful foiling, beautiful spine. There's the back. End pages, beautiful full color illustrations throughout the entire book. And just all of the little details, just things like this, headings, are just all so beautiful. It's just the little things, you know, that add up to a beautifully well-designed book. And I'm so happy to finally have this. I cannot wait to reread Tress in physical form. Oh, so happy to have it. And then the last book in this book haul is another Sanderson book, another special edition, and one that is actually a gift that my husband gave me for our anniversary, which is coming up. He got it early, and that is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This is the leather bound of Warbreaker, and it is gorgeous. I love the purple, beautiful gilded edges. There's the spine. It's got a ribbon bookmark, and of course we have oh, let me show you the end pages. Look at that. How flippin' beautiful is that? That's the front and that's the back. Stunning art. Do you see this? And as much as I would love to reread Warbreaker in this edition, I'm kind of afraid to read these editions because I don't want to mess them up. So happy to add another leatherbound to my collection. But anyway, my friends, that is it for this book haul. Let us hope and pray together that I won't do another book haul for at least another 2-3 months, okay? Because I need to reel it in on the book buying. But talk to me down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. What have you been buying lately? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. But that is going to be it from me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe. Ooh, for an emoji, why don't you leave me something green? Anything, any green emoji for Tress of the Emerald Sea. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.